Whoa, what's going on? It's your boy Yo, man. So I'm about to run the errand, but today we're gonna talk about the video that of course all of us have seen by now. T.I. and Tiny and the altercation with their son backstage, behind the scenes at the Atlanta game against the Saints this past weekend. We all saw it. Man, that was hard. So anyway, we all saw it. You know, T.I. had to choke up his son because he was getting disrespectful and embarrassing the family, embarrassing himself, like T.I. said. There's 2 points I want to talk about when we get into this situation. First, I'm gonna start by saying I thought it was a publicity stunt at first, and I had some evidence to back that up. But now I've changed my mind. I don't think it was a publicity stunt. We're gonna get into that in a second. What I want to touch on first is something that I think we don't talk about in the black culture, and of why these kids like a Kingharris wants to be so hood, like yearning to be hood, because they feel like that's what people respect. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into that. Let's talk about that in the black culture. It's something that we just don't speak on, bro. When you are a parent, right? All parents want better for their children. All parents try to provide a life that was better than what they had. And that goes for every parent, yo. So like T.I. mom probably tried her hardest to give him better than she had. So T.I. was able to become successful. You know what I'm saying? Even though he came out of the hood, he came out of the trap, came from West Side, Bankhead. You know, allegedly was a drug dealer at one point, but he became successful. And so when he had his children, he was able to give King a better life. And that's the goal of most black people. The problem is, in our black culture, is that even though we're striving to give our children a better life than we had, we still openly talk down on what we call silver spoon children, or children who had it all, or children whose parents was better off than us when we was growing up. Like, black people will go out our way to be like, I'm self-made, I'm this, I'm that, and brag and boast on that, which you should. There's nothing wrong with being proud of yourself, dragging yourself up from out the mud. But the problem is, we make this negative vibe, this negative label that you put on people who not from out the hood, who not street, who had everything handed to them. But that's your goal of what you're trying to do for your children. So if you run around saying, yeah, bitch ass niggas grew up in a gated community and they ain't from the hood, they from the suburbs, but yet when you make it and you have your kids growing up in a suburb, and they hear you talking about how that's bitch ass niggas, then what do you think the child feel like? What do you think your child feel like when they hear you saying that the stigma is you're a bitch ass nigga if you grew up in a gated community, but yet you went out of your way to put your children into this gated community? You get what I'm saying? I remember watching a documentary one time when Jalen Rose was talking about being in the Fab Five and how he solely really only hated Grant Hill. Like, his hate for Grant Hill went deeper than just the basketball between Michigan and North Carolina. I mean, Duke. He said that he specifically didn't like Grant Hill because Grant Hill grew up privileged. Now, if you ask Jalen Rose how he raising his kids right now, aren't his kids privileged? You get what I'm saying? So you had no problem doing this documentary, getting on TV, and basically shitting on the life that Grant Hill had, which is the same life you're providing for your child. That's what I mean by the black culture. We don't pay attention to what we actually putting out into the world. We are spewing out into the world. Anybody who's privileged or who have a Picasso in their house is a hoe ass nigga. But yet, when you get some money, you gonna take your kids and make them into hoe ass niggas. in your words. Because you're going to put that Picasso in their house. You're going to put them in the gay community. They're going to go to the best schools. They're going to have everything handed to them. They're going to have the silver spoon. That's everything that you said was whack and lame and you hate it and that's garbage and you don't respect that. But that's what you do for your kids, which is a good thing. But we talk down on it so much that now the kids who come up in that don't want to be that. They like, well, shit, nobody likes that. Nobody respects that. Everybody think I'm a bitch. So they go out of their way to act out. That's how you get kids like King. King wants so bad to be accepted as a gangster or the opposite of a spoiled brat, even though he grew up a spoiled brat. So that's one point I got to make. The second point, the reason I thought that this shit was scripted at first was T.I.'s response on Instagram. I don't know if y'all saw it, but he's promoting a new show with T.I. and King Harris called Goat Talk that's sponsored by Complex or whatever. So immediately after everything happened, he basically came out and was like, yo, that's still my son. We still rocking. Forget what you're talking about. Go check out our new show. So to me, I was like, whoa, like we went right into promoting a new show. But then I thought about it. I said, you know what? It wasn't scripted. You could tell how King was acting, that King really was feeling the way he was feeling. He really was upset with his parents. He really was acting out. He might have had a couple drinks or whatever. Some people said they think he was on coke. I don't know. That's allegedly. But he definitely probably was on some drinks. But what I do realize is that T.I. is a genius with marketing. He realized, man, look, I could take this opportunity of all this attention we getting and flip it into something. And that's what Tip did. So I no longer think that it was a publicity stunt. However, I think T.I. is genius with taking what happened and taking that attention and saying, look, I'm going to still capitalize off this little nigga. Because that's what he going to do. Like, at this point, King might be, quote unquote, a troubled child, bad for the family, embarrassing for the family. But guess what? Reality TV and all the trash that's out there, King is entertaining as hell. So T.I. is going to turn him into a cash cow of just showing his antics. I guarantee y'all that King is 19 years old, by the way. A lot of people still think he is like, I don't know, 12 or some shit, 13. King is 19 years old. I guarantee you that T.I. is about to capitalize off of King for at least the next 10 years of letting King make a fool of himself on the internet. I guarantee you he's about to do that. Because T.I. realized, I got another cash cow with reality TV and just keeping attention. Anytime I need attention on our family, I can just let King do some stupid shit on the internet. Remember how, like, look how long Ray J's been relevant by just popping up doing stupid shit on reality TV. That's what King about to be. So, at the end of the day, shout out to Tip, King of the South. You know, he's definitely one of my favorite artists growing up. That's all I wanted to get off my chest, man, is that, one, black people need to stop the narrative of growing up privilege is a problem. If that's really your goals for your children, why knock it? 2, T.I. is a marketing genius, and he's going to use King. But King got to tighten up a little bit. One day he's going to get mature, I guess. That's all I got.